Hey, it's Kim, and I had a student send me this question about simplifying a difference quotient, and I thought I would do it. I'm given that the function k of x is 6 times the square root of x, and I'm supposed to find the difference quotient, k of x plus h minus k of x over h. And it says simplify it by rationalizing the numerator. This is a tool you'll use in pre-calculus. It's a tool you'll use in calculus, and so it's really important to understand this. I'm going to take it in pieces. The first thing I'm going to do is find the k of x plus h piece of this numerator. And that is going to be, let's see, k of x plus h is actually equal to 6, and then I'm going to replace where I have x, I'm going to replace it with x plus h. And so I'm going to have the square root of x plus h, because instead of the input being just x right here, in that square root function, the input is x plus h. All right, so that means that my function, which is this difference quotient, let me type that out. So here's what I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find this fraction, k of x plus h minus k of x all over h. And I'm going to say that's equal to, and I'm going to put these values in. I'm going to put this value in for k of x plus h. I'm going to put this value in for k of x. And I'm going to get 6 times the square root of x plus h. Oops, I need that in the radical. Minus 6 square root of x. And all of that is over h. And then I'm asked to simplify this by rationalizing the numerator, because right now there's really not a lot I can do to simplify it. Now, to rationalize the numerator, I'm going to need to multiply this whole fraction by the number 1, but in a clever manner. I'm going to multiply it by the conjugate, which is just changing the middle sign over itself. And so here's what that will look like. Let me copy this. That will look like, oops, I'm going to multiply it right now. So that's going to be times, let's find it, times, and I'm going to copy this so I don't have to retype it over and over, but it's going to be this numerator over itself, but with the sign changed, because that is how you rationalize, if you remember that from previous class. So I'm multiplying this whole fraction right here. Let me put that in a grouping symbol so that we see it's one thing, and then by this whole fraction right here. And so to simplify the top, I'm going to actually use FOIL, and to simplify the bottom, I'm just going to leave it like it is. So to simplify the numerator, let's see what I'm going to get. I'm going to get, let me get a new equation. So I'm going to get 6 square root of x plus h times 6 square root of x plus h. So the 6 times 6 I know is 36. And then when I multiply a square root of something by itself, that just gives me that thing. Like the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is 3. So I get 36 times x plus h. And then notice when I use FOIL, my inner and outer functions, I'm going to get minus 36 square root of x times square root of x plus h. And that's for inner. For the outer, I'm going to get positive 36 square root of x times square root of x plus h. And those are going to cancel. That's the whole idea of using the conjugate. And then for the L part of FOIL or last, I'm going to get negative 6 square root of x times 6 square root of x, and that'll be negative 36 for the 6 times 6, and then square root of x times square root of x is x. And this is over h times all of this. Let's put that right there by the h. Oops. There we go. All right, now I can simplify that numerator a little bit by getting Let's see, I can distribute that 36. So I'm going to get 36x plus 36h minus 36x, which is just going to leave me with a 36h on top. 36h. And in the denominator, I'm going to leave the same. It's smart when you're rationalizing fractions like this or simplifying that you leave the numerator. I'm sorry, that you actually multiply out the numerator, but for the denominator, you leave it in this factored form. Because notice what's going to happen now is you're going to be able to cancel this h and this h. You don't have any more addition and subtraction. And so your final answer is going to be just 36 over that 6 square root of x plus h plus 6 square root of x. So the student asked me this because they thought it wouldn't be more simplified if you had the square roots in the denominator. And this has square roots in the numerator, this has square roots in the denominator. They're just asking you to walk through this process to make sure you understand the mathematics of it. Hope this helps.